Suppose a psychologist or psychiatrist hypnotized you. In that state, your conscious reasoning mind is suspended, and your subconscious is amenable to suggestion. And then he suggested to you that you were the President of the United States. Your subconscious would accept the statement as true. Your subconscious does not reason, choose, or differentiate, as does your conscious mind. You would assume all the airs of importance and dignity that you believe to be the legitimate concomitant of that position. If you were given a glass of water and told you were drunk, you would play the role of a drunkard to the best of your ability. If you told the psychiatrist that you were allergic to timothy grass, and he placed a glass of distilled water under your nose, telling you at the same time that it was timothy grass, you would generate all the symptoms of an allergic attack, and the physiological and physical reactions would be the same as if the water were actually timothy grass. If you were told that you were a beggar on Skid Row, your demeanor would immediately change, and you would assume the attitude of humble suppliance with an imaginary tin cup in your hand. In short, you may be made to believe that you are anything, such as a statue, dog, soldier, or swimmer, and you will act the part suggested with amazing fidelity to the nature of the suggestion, insofar as your knowledge extends of the characteristics of the thing that is suggested. Another important point to remember is that your subconscious mind always accepts the dominant of two ideas. That is, it accepts your conviction without question whether your premise is true or absolutely false. The modern scientific straight-line thinker looks at God as the infinite intelligence within his subconscious mind. He doesn't care whether people call it the superconscious, unconscious, subjective mind, living spirit almighty, or whether they call this supreme intelligence Allah, Brahma, Jehovah, reality or spirit, or the all-seeing eye. The point is, it is there. It's within you. All the powers of the infant are within you. God is spirit, however, and the spirit has no face, form, or figure. It is timeless, spaceless, and eternal. The same Spirit indwells every man. This is why Paul says that thou stir up the gift of God which is in thee. You're also told the kingdom of God is within you, the book of Luke. Yes, God is in your thought, your feeling, your imagination. In other words, the invisible part of you is God. God is the life principle in you, boundless love, absolute harmony, infinite intelligence. Knowing that you can contact this invisible power through your thought, strip the whole process of prayer from mystery, superstition, doubt, and wonder. The Bible tells you the Word was God. The Word is the thought expressed, as you know, and based what you've already heard, every thought is creative and tends to manifest itself in your life according to the nature of your thought. It stands to reason that any time you discover the creative power, you have discovered God, as there's only one creative power. Not two, three, or 1,000, just one. Hero Israel means illumined, awakened man. The Lord, the supreme power, our God is one Lord, one power, one presence, one cause, and one substance. Many of us have been conditioned negatively when we were young. All of us are susceptible to suggestion when we were young, highly impressionable. For example, supposing a man is, let us say, a sourpuss, or he has a nasty temper, or he complains about it, he can sit down every night prior to sleep, and also in the morning and the afternoon, and he can affirm as follows. He can write these in his subconscious, he can reprogram his mind, he can redirect it, he can write upon it, and the nature of the subconscious is compulsive. Therefore, he'll be compelled to become genial, cordial, a man of goodwill. This is what he should say. Henceforth, I shall grow more good-humored. I shall have more joy and happiness and inner peace of mind. Every day I am becoming more and more lovable and understanding. I am now becoming the center of cheer, cordiality, and goodwill to all those around me, infecting them with good humor. This happy, joyous, and cheerful mood is now becoming my normal, natural state of mind, and I am grateful. He can take these statements, reiterate them, repeat them, remind himself that he's writing these in his deeper mind, and whatever is impressed in the subconscious mind comes forth as form, as function, as experience and event. For out of the heart of the subconscious are the issues of life. Many people have been victims of negative suggestions or negative conditioning or programming when they were very young. In all ages, the power of suggestion has played a part in the life and thought of man, in every period of time and in each country of the earth. In many parts of the world, it is the controlling power in religion. Suggestion may be used to discipline, control ourselves. There are constructive suggestions and there are also negative ones. Suggestion can be used to take control and command over others who do not know the laws of mind. In its constructive form, it is wonderful and magnificent. In its negative aspects, it is one of the most destructive of all the response patterns of the mind, resulting in inferiority, patterns of failure, suffering, sickness, and disease. From infancy on, the majority of us have been given many negative suggestions. Negative programming would be a better word. Not knowing how to reject them or thwart them, we unconsciously accepted them. Here are some of the negative suggestions resulting in negative programming of your subconscious mind. You were told, oh, you can't do that. Maybe someone said to you, you'll never amount to anything. Now you have an inferiority complex. They said, you mustn't do that. You'll fail. You haven't got a chance. You're all wrong. It's no use. It's not what you know, but who you know. The world is going to the dogs. What's the use? Nobody cares. It's no use trying so hard. Others said to you, oh, you're too old now. Forget it. Your memory is failing. Things are getting worse and worse. Life is an endless grind. Others said to you, love is for the birds, and you just can't win. Pretty soon you'll be bankrupt. Watch out, you'll get the virus. You can't trust a soul. All these negative suggestions, if you accept them, you'll program your subconscious mind in a very negative way. You'll have a sense of inferiority, inadequacy, and a sense of fear. Unless, as an adult, you program your subconscious mind constructively, which is a reconditioning therapy. The impressions made on you in the past can cause behavior patterns that cause failure in your personal and social life. Programming is a means releasing you from the mass of negative verbal conditioning that might otherwise distort your life pattern, making the development of good habits difficult. Pick up the paper any day and you can read dozens of items that could sow the seeds of futility, fear, worry, anxiety, and impending doom. If accepted by you, these thoughts of fear could cause you to lose the will for life. Knowing that you can reject all these negative suggestions by giving your subconscious mind constructive autosuggestions, you counteract all these destructive ideas. Check regularly on the negative suggestions that people make to you. You do not have to be influenced by destructive negative suggestions. All of us have suffered from it in our childhood and in our teens. If you look back, you can easily recall how parents, friends, relatives, teachers, and associates contributed in a campaign of negative suggestions. Study the things said to you, and you will discover much of it was in the form of propaganda. The purpose of much of what was said was to control you or instill fear into you. The negative suggestions go on in every home, office, factory, and club. You will find that many of these negative suggestions are for the purpose of making you think, feel, and act as others want you to, and in ways that are to their advantage. That's negative programming of your deeper mind. Now, there is a right way to program your subconscious mind. Every morning of your life, you can sit steady, quiet, get relaxed, and affirm as follows. Divine law and order governs my life. Divine right action reigns supreme. Divine success is mine. Divine harmony is mine. Divine peace fills my soul. Divine love saturates my whole being. Divine abundance is mine. Divine love goes before me today and every day, making straight, joyous, and glorious my way. This is the way a Marine captain programmed his subconscious mind during World War II. He reiterated these truths frequently. Gradually, by repetition, faith, and expectancy, they entered into his subconscious mind, and whatever is impressed in the subconscious is compulsive. Therefore, he was compelled to lead a life of harmony and peace and of love. This is how he programmed his mind, every morning and every night. The Lord is my pilot. I shall not drift. He lighteth me across the dark waters. He steereth me in the deep channels. He keepeth my log. He guideth me by the star of holiness for his name's sake. Yea, though I sail mid the thunders and tempests of life, I shall dread no danger, for thou art with me. Thy love and thy care, they shelter me. Thou preparest a harbour before me in the homeland of eternity. Thou anointest the waves with oil. My ship rideth calmly. Surely sunlight and starlight shall favour me on the voyage I take, and I will rest in the ports of my God forever. That's by J. Rogers, a merchant marine captain, written during World War II. It's a wonderful way you can do that too, every morning before you step into your automobile. You can sit down and repeat that and reiterate it, remind yourself of these truths. What are you doing? Aren't you programming? Aren't you writing into your subconscious mind? Aren't you feeding it life-giving patterns? And as you reiterate these things and remind yourself and announce these truths and believe in them, they sink into your subconscious mind and they become compulsive, for the nature of your subconscious mind is compulsive. Last year, speaking in New Orleans, at the Unity Temple there, a woman told me, she said there was a man used to come here, and he used to say, quite frequently, there are a lot of hold-ups in my neighborhood. I remain open that night rather late, and I am going to be held up one of these nights. I'll probably be shot too. And they told him, stop making these negative suggestions. Stop thinking along that line. Well, he kept on doing it. He didn't pay any attention. He kept programming his subconscious negatively, and he was held up, and he was also shot. Now, that's the wrong way. He could have taken the 91st Psalm and said, I dwell in the secret place of the Most High. I abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge, my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall cover me with His feathers, and under His wings shall I rest. And the truth shall be my shield and buckler. I shall not be afraid for the terror by night, or the arrow that flieth by day. He could have reiterated these truths. He could have realized the love of God surrounded him and enfolded him. Where he was, God was. He could have said to himself, Thou art my hiding place. Thou wilt compass me about with songs of deliverance. And then he would build up an immunity to all harm. These are spiritual antibodies that immunize you. You become God-intoxicated. And that's the right way to program your mind. Fear is faith upside down. Fear is faith in the wrong thing. We've had politicians running for office who've openly said to newsmen, one man in particular said, I lived in constant fear of assassination, even though he had bulletproof glass in front of him when he spoke, but he announced that to the reporters. Now, of course, he didn't, know the laws of mind, And that fear he didn't know perhaps that he could cast out fear, but he could.